Hey guys, Schway here, episode 6 of the No Schway Out podcast. Appreciate all the support so far. And no, I know what you're thinking. We did not skip episode 5. I did a review of the movie Iron Claw about the Von Erich family that's coming out pretty soon. I went and saw a premiere of it with my friend Ed. So I was going to do that, but the studio, after I dropped it, asked us if we could take it down for a few days. So I'll be releasing that on Monday. But in the meantime, I am here to talk about AEW's 2023 flagship product, the third product they've dropped this year. Pretty impressive for them to drop all this new stuff. So I'll be talking with my friend Chay from Body Slam Toys. He does a lot of breaks as well, and we will be talking about our initial thoughts about the checklist. I also go a bit in depth about my experience breaking Allure. I found out some interesting stuff, guys, and I really believe you're not going to want to buy any more Allure hobbies or anything else until you hear what I have to say about it. I haven't heard anyone else talking about this, and as a consumer, you're going to want to know about this. We also briefly touch about the price point on the new Leaf Heroes or Leaf Legends of Wrestling. The one with the rock autos, okay? We found the product with the rock autos, so I know, kind of vague, but we put a little bit of information in there for you as far as what we expect for pricing point based off of insider info we got. So if you celebrate Hanukkah, appreciate you. Hope you have a good Hanukkah on night one, and I hope you guys enjoy the pod. Thanks. Hey guys, I'm here with my guy Chay from Body Slam Toys, another small business owner who likes ripping wrestling cards as well as selling pristine action figures, Pokemon cards. Did I miss anything else, Chay? Is there anything else I need to be plugging here?
Marvel figures and DC figures. No, I'm just kidding.
What the hell's wrong with me? I missed like half your inventory. Jeez, I'm slipping. I'm slipping, guys. I'm slipping. So guys, we got my good friend Shay here because we are gonna talk AEW Series 3, and I know that Shay breaks AEW like myself, but also he's appreciator of AEW. So Shay, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing all right, man. Now that I got off Apple Hell customer service, they finally gave me a refund, thank God. But another day, another dollar, as they say.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I was having a stream the other day, and then several people in the stream were like, "Schway, did you see they dropped the checklist? You see they dropped the checklist?" So I immediately went over, pulled up the checklist on Beckett, and I thought a good place for us to start would be new names added, never before seen in any AEW product. So we got Taya Valkyrie. You liking the addition of Taya?
I was just that was the first name that came to my brain.
Yeah. Well,
Was
she
Ty
has
Valkyrie.
autos in this.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Jay White, Switchblade Jay White. He
Okay.
also will have
Dig,
autos. I think he'll be a
digging
popular son.
Switchblade.
Yeah, he'll be a nice spot. I think people will buy that spot in a break. Um, Renee Paquette, she's
Digging
also
that
in.
too.
She has autos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have Soraya, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you got a chance to go over the checklist, but as far as I can see, I don't think Soraya has autos. It looks like she has maybe a relic or two, like one of those matte cards, but from what I can see on Beckett.com, it doesn't look like her or one. A lot of people have been telling me they're excited about Willow Nightingale's first cards in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the checklist. I must have reread it 5 times. I did not see autos for either of them, which, to me is kind of shocking. Someone who personally, I'd probably collect Willow potentially, depending on price point. I'd like her upside. I think she's doing a lot of great stuff in AEW. Again, with a lot of people in AEW, the real question is how they're going to be utilized. What's the booking? You know,
Right.
but the fact that neither of them have autos, I find very surprising personally.
Well, generally, that's like the cool thing about AW cards is that everybody typically has an auto.
Right.
from the talent, from the managers to the referees, the announcers, and everybody. So
For better or worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of shocking that Willow's not on the checklist for sure.
Well,
Um,
we should clarify, not on the auto checklist.
not
And
on the auto
maybe,
checklist. Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
because on the base set, there's 100 cards. And then when you go to autos, there's 86.
Hmm.
And, some of those obviously this year they put those all in the family cards in there.
Right.
So that's kind of expected. There's like the tag team cards. I can double check if they're doing the tag team autos real quick. But some of those are not quite surprising, but Soraya in particular, Willow too, but someone like Soraya who has a strong following of people who might come and pick up her cards just because of, their affinity for Paige when she was in WWE. It really seems like a missed opportunity on Upper Deck's part.
I'd be interested to know the reasoning behind that. Like, did they finalize everything like prior to her coming in? Maybe.
That's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised. The one that's more shocking to me, I guess, because with Soraya, I would imagine that along with money might have been an issue.
Yeah.
Um, but with someone like Willow, who I can't imagine it would cost them that much to get her to sign, and she's
Right.
been with the company for a decent amount of time, enough for them to put her in the product. Um, it seems like a missed opportunity on that front, especially from a breaker's perspective. Anytime you can get another woman who's a wrestler who signs, who's in the set, who's actually popular, it's not the hardest spot to sell.
Yeah, that's true. And
um
like I'm thinking that it comes down to her either not being available. It has to be because she's has base cards.
right,
She has the memorabilia cards too.
right. I'm literally going back through it as I'm talking to you, and neither of them are there. There's some tag team cards, so there'll be some of those dual autos, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because it's like base autos 86, and then you go down a bit, and like the out of five, there's you know 92. So there's
Right.
like three spots of people who signed for out of five, but not the base autos, which I would need to go through there and really see who that is. Again, I just kind of briefly went through it all, and then yeah, I don't know. The way it's set up to me is just interesting because those seem like two glaring holes. I definitely feel like Jay White's going to be someone of interest that people are going to be excited to PC. The main thing I've been getting asked about is these playing cards. I'm trying to see what the name of these guys are. But yeah, the double or nothing playing cards where it's like, Wardlow's the King of Hearts and
Yeah.
all those things. A lot of people have been talking to me about those. So I'm curious to really see what the rarity of those are, you know. It'll be interesting to see what people are really chasing because my initial feeling based off of seeing this, and I will say a lot of the designs that I'm seeing look very nice. They have the all elite women's set that looks cool. Mic check's okay. A lot of these, the pictures you see don't really do the cards justice. The relics look cooler based off what I've been seeing. The autos even look better. But I feel like people are probably just going to stick with Allure. To be honest, I think they're going to come out. People are going to be searching for their specific people, but I haven't seen as much excitement around a product in AEW as I've seen in Allure so far.
Yeah. And that's normal, right? That's why you
Uh,
have your like flagship set.
yeah, I mean, for other products, AEW's been so fascinating because it comes out with Series 1 super hot, and then, you know, they started delaying releases, and Series 2
Yeah.
came out slightly less exciting. Spectrum was delayed, some cool stuff, but man, dude, I tried to do a half case Spectrum break the other day. Never again, bro. Pain. Like I'm never doing it again. Only in mixers. I don't got it in me no more. But
Yeah.
and
I
then
don't blame you.
you see like Metal comes out, and Metal's like the most exciting product they've had, and they drop Allure pretty like what, a month and a half after, 2 months
Hmm.
max. So I know it's a good opportunity for them because with everything going on in WWE and Panini, it's an opportunity for them to, as they say, flood the market and kind of grab people's attention. Because I've definitely been seeing people get into AEW breaks I've never really seen in AEW breaks before.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. But like going back to like the playing cards though,
yeah.
I mean, of course, it seems like you would think that the Joker would be the sought after card, right? Because typically that's like the surprise that comes into like the battle royal at the end.
Uh, that's a good point. So you
But
thinking what MJF as the Joker? Seems pretty logical.
no, it's
Oh,
Orange Cassidy and Danhausen.
oh, they actually have that. Oh, that's in the insert section. I gotta put. Wow, I can see Danhausen, Orange Cassidy. He doesn't really seem like a wild card.
Well,
Like,
what's even more interesting is that it's one out of every 270 hobby packs, but the aces are one out of every 540.
hmm, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going down to it now. I do like that there's more stuff. Any opportunity to get more rainbows and parallels, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking at it now. Um, well, you can get those double or nothing playing cards as well in the blasters too, which is
Yeah.
nice because I was going through the autos, and again, the only autos you can get are base autos, which I understand. But man, some of those metal blasters were rough, man. I'm still sitting on about 20. I'm like, I've given some away as givvies and stuff, and part of me is like, man, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do with this?
I don't
But
think I opened any metal blasters.
dude, I did a couple breaks, and the auto odds are just so bad, man. Like at least with the select case, you're probably at least gonna get what, three autos, 2 to 4 range, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it varies, but it's usually around there. Man, I did like two 20 box breaks. Again, pain. And one of the breaks I did, we had like a fucking Rick Knox auto, man. And it's like,
Ugh.
I know, shout out Piazza and Captain Jive because yeah, Captain wanted to buy the car and Piazza's like, nah, I'm keeping it. And then I was like, where is it? And he's like, oh, it's somewhere. I'm like, nah. If you're gonna keep Rick, we have to keep him displayed at all times.
Right.
Um, let's see. Yeah, 2 through 10. I mean, are the odds aren't too bad to pulling. It's like 1 out of every 7.5 packs, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at least 4 per hobby.
So they have the okay double or nothing playing cards, but then they have the double or nothing gold playing cards.
Which is supposed to be 1 per hobby.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So those are less rare? Like, hold on. Let's see this. Ace is not more rare, slightly more rare. Interesting. So we should be seeing a couple. If that's 1, then maybe seeing a couple of those playing cards through a hobby of the lower end guys, perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
I always make fun of AEW for having refs and announcers. I'm not mad about Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone and Excalibur here and there, but man, pretty much every set with them. And then like, I think, what was it? You get sets with like 3 to 4 refs each time and 2 to 3 announcers. So it's like 5 to 7 spots. And now Excalibur has his own set.
Right, right.
You can't make this up. So Excalibur, they have the exclusive silver parallels and then the printing plates to 101. I don't know. I find some of that stuff funny when they have like, to me, if it's numbered, they should number it all the way down to 101 or whatever. More stuff to collect, but it kind of reminds me of those color flows out of in terms of the rarity in Allure that only really it's like what out of 199 and out of 299.
Right.
So I haven't actually like. Have you been getting too much in Allure? Obviously I haven't seen you as much on the whatnots these days because you're a busy man. But you can probably hear that. Okay, we're
So
good.
I've opened a handful of hobby boxes, not a whole lot.
Okay.
And I've gotten a couple autos. Like I got a Wheeler Yuta base.
Okay.
I got an Athena base.
Those red base ones look cool though for base autos.
Yeah,
I like
they're
them a
really
lot
nice.
better than the base metals that are just kind of bleh.
Yeah, I opened one hobby box that did not have an auto, but it had like a It had like the pink ice cream for like Orange Cassidy.
Okay, nice, nice.
So I was like, okay, that kind of evens out. If I would have gotten like a bad auto, I mean, this is probably better than that, right? So
Yeah.
I was
Well,
cool with it.
Jay, I will tell you that you're not gonna, I talked to you about this before our stream right now while we record this, but you're not gonna want to miss section 2 of the podcast if you want to buy any more alert boxes, because you're not gonna want to buy one without the information I'm about to give you. I guarantee it, bro. I guarantee it. We're gonna touch on little. I'm trying to leave breadcrumbs to get people to listen to the whole
I'm
podcast. You know
not
what I'm
gonna
saying?
want to buy one without
No,
the information.
yeah, you're not gonna want to buy another alert box unless you know the information I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Or yeah, or possibly even get into another alert Kate like break. You know what I mean? If you're doing like less boxes and stuff and blah blah
Yeah.
blah, like or you're buying a hobby box in someone's stream, like you're gonna want this information I'm gonna give you. I'm telling you. Like no
Okay.
one I haven't heard anyone else talk about this. So
Okay.
again, leaving breadcrumbs because I want people to listen to the whole pod, So I
Okay.
gotta give them a little just a taste, as Daddy
Yeah.
Magic
Yeah.
would say. Give them a taste. Um but yeah, so I like the fact that there's new insert sets. Again, my main gripe with the flagship product has been pretty consistent. I wish they never got rid of the dotted line autos. I miss those. Shout out my guy Prep. I know he loves those too. Um, and the those finisher cards in Series 1 I really enjoyed too.
Yeah.
It was also cool because you could pull dotted line autos out of blasters. And I didn't know that until I saw it with my own two eyes. So it would be nice if AEW, spiced up the blasters a little bit here and there. I know they want people to get to hobbies, but I think people would buy more hobbies if they just had better auto odds, to be honest.
So when it comes to Upper Deck products, because
Yeah.
I've never opened anything else Upper Deck other than like Marvel, some like cards like that.
Yeah.
Do they always like with hockey, for example? Are their sets always full of inserts?
I believe so. A lot of these inserts that I've been seeing in Allure, when you look them up on eBay, you'll see them for hockey and various stuff. I saw a 16-bit hockey guy with some name from Eastern Europe I couldn't pronounce.
Okay.
And, a lot of them are similar, hockey spectrum, blah, blah, blah. Um, I don't know. To me, I was saying this offline, but Allure to me is kind of the equivalent of Select for WWE. What Panini's done with Select, you get this set. Wrestling collectors seem to like it a lot more than, Select comes out. Everyone's like, you have to like Prism. Prism's the standard. And when I say everyone, I really mean people who like sports are like Prism's the standard. And then you get someone like me who, I didn't collect Panini before WWE, and Select looks nicer to me. So I don't really care. Someone's like, well, this is an out of 10 from Prism. Historically, it's worth more. And I'm like, in sports, yes, but
Exactly.
like I'm not gonna let you put your hobby ideals onto me.
Like the I think the people have chosen
Yeah,
and the people have spoken that Select is the set to have when it comes to WWE.
right. And I bring that up because to me, Allure feels like AEW Select,
Yeah,
and Metal feels like AEW's Prism.
correct.
Where Metal comes out, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff in Metal I still want. Like I'm still hunting for a few things. I'm actually not going to say what I'm hunting for, because a few times in the past when I said what I'm hunting for, other people start hunting for it, and nah. So
Yeah,
so
like prior to Metal coming out, everybody's like, "Oh, precious metal gems."
right. I mean,
You know.
dude, a lot of them. So for example, my friend Nine, she's a big Hobbs fan, right? And
Hmm.
she gets Hobbs a lot in breaks. And I had a Hobbs PMG, and I'm like, oh, do you need this? She's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll put it aside. Let me check out comps on that. Dude, the last one went for 90.
Nice.
So it's like they've been, holding pretty consistent, like most people. Obviously there's certain wrestlers. Obviously the downfall of AEW is just in terms of cards. The downfall of AEW could be another thing. I don't think they're completely down, but
Right.
the downfall of their cards is there's just a lot of like harder to sell spots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like no matter how many boxes you sell, John Silver is only really going to go for so much. You know,
Exactly.
as much as it may sadden me, but yeah. So you know, I'm still hunting for stuff on metal. I tried doing a metal mixer the other day with Spectrum, moved a bit slower. Like everyone likes the Allure, and I don't blame them. You know, you open the packs, they're colorful cards, they're fun looking cards, they're cards that like if you're collecting, you know, you can see more of a rainbow type thing going on there,
Right.
you know, and also the metal cards chipped a bit too. I'm not gonna lie, when you were opening up those packs, I don't know if you ever noticed that.
Wait, say that again?
So sorry, I probably mumbled a little bit on that, but basically, when I would open up packs of metal, right? A lot of times the packs would be like so tight that when you'd open the pack, the first card corner on the base card would usually be bent.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
a lot of times they're just a lot of the AEW sets that aren't Allure have to me a lot of chipping issues.
Okay.
So like if you opened a hobby of metal and you look at all the corners or the edges of all the cards, I'm sure you'll see some have some like nicks and stuff like that.
Right.
At least that's my experience,
Right.
you
And
know.
and I've heard that before, but I mean, you don't really have that with Allure because of the way that the card. I don't know what they're using on the cards.
It's that chrome type
Yeah,
finest finish, which is just, you know, for me as someone
perfect.
who, yeah, like Chrome is one of my favorite products to rip. Tops Chrome
Yeah.
2021, 2020. Like those are fun rips because, you know, it's, I always say this and people think I'm funny for saying it. The cards have great hand feel. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
true. That's
when
so
you
true.
when you're ripping like packs after pack, like, dude, I was doing that metal break the other day and even the two boxes, I'm like getting flashbacks of doing uh my 20 box joint when it first came out, the full, not 20, excuse me, 16, the full case when it first came out. And bro, man, that is a endurance test ripping metal, man. I don't know, like
Yeah.
pretty much ripping any product AEW that's not Allure or Spectrum is, even Allure can, you know, eventually it gets more drained, but it's more fun to rip. But man, metal series one, series two, whew, grinds, man. A lot of a lot of energy. Um, okay, sorry, we're going into random stuff about general AEW. Che, as far as the checklist designs, anything about Series 3 in general that you wanted to talk about while we're here, uh, let me know. Kind of putting you on the spot. Again, I always say this in like every pod, but like I'm still figuring out how to do this, guy. So like eventually I'll have better structure set up.
No, it's all good. So for me, now I'm typically a fan of, well, I'm a fan of AEW Flagship. Um, I'm not a big fan of Spectrum, even though you get hits. I'm not a big fan of Metal, but I do love Allure. I think Allure is what you said it is. It's a
It's a fun
great
set.
set.
It's
It
fun, man.
feels good, all that good stuff. But for this set in particular, I'm looking forward to the playing cards more than anything.
Yeah, they look good, man. I mean, that
But
gold
the
Wardlow they have up there looks nice.
but the other inserts like the Dazzlers and the mic check stuff like that, not really important to me.
Yeah. The Dazzler, I hope they have, I know it's probably too late, but that'd be great to have some of those Chris Statlander, Ben Stiller cosplays on the Dazzler joint. You know,
Okay.
like if she had like a Zoolander thing going on the
Yeah.
Dazzler card, that'd be pretty funny. Um, I can feel that, man. A lot of the inserts, man, if they can't be numbered past a certain point, it's just hard for me to care.
Right.
You know, like to me, a lot of these cards, I'm like, man, like for example, in metal, I feel like they missed a huge opportunity with a lot of those inserts where they're like, yeah, it's either base or numbered to 25. I'm like, bro, how hard would it be to just make a 101 and like 10
Exactly.
out of 10? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it's an extra 11 cards, bro. You know what I mean? Like it can't be that hard and it adds a whole extra chase for people who care about those things.
Yep.
Um, which seems like a missed opportunity. One thing I hope that they do in this, which I have not seen, and for the record, we have 8 minutes left before I have to switch Zooms, just so you know.
Okay.
Um, is they need to have Jake Hager wearing that damn hat. The amount of times that people come in my stream and like, oh, is he wearing the hat? Like, they should have had a hat relic for Jake. Like, if the relic in this for Jake isn't purple, they're leaving money on the table. Like, I know it's ridiculous, but I'm telling you, Chay, if they don't make a purple relic for Jake Hager, they're leaving money on the table. They'd make Jake Hager a sellable spot by just giving him purple fabric in his damn relic card. Like, is it that hard?
It's literally, you can say that for so many people on the roster. Literally, if they had like action cards, like remember they used to do like the Wednesday in action.
Yeah, I liked Wednesday in action. I like that a lot more than the breakouts, to be honest.
Like, why don't we have a card with the kangaroo kick?
That'd be great. Yeah, people would love that.
Or the double clothesline.
Or the scissor me timbers or
Exactly. Why don't we have a card of Daniel Garcia doing his little dance?
Oh my god, I feel like I'm Mr. No Fun. I'm not into all the dancing stuff, man. I don't know. I want more more sports entertainment on AEW because I don't want it to be like, I'm not mad at them having great matches. I hear they're going towards a New Japan vibe overall, which I'm not mad at more hardcore matches and stuff and like,
yeah.
But I like a lot of the old stuff they did that had more sports entertainment vibe. I want them to have both, you know. I'm still going to support regardless. I will say, Chay, I opened up a box of the AEW Verse system. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that the new product that's out?
It's the I call it AEW The Gathering because it's an AEW playable card game.
Yeah, I saw it on the Upper Deck website.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know it was on there. I got it off of a different site. I originally got it off of a Whatnot stream. I didn't realize I should have just looked it up because I paid a little bit more. But I will say I opened it up on stream, sold a few singles, and will tell you, Chay, and I know you're super excited about this. The only known appearance of the Jake Hager hat that I have seen is in the Verse system. There's a card called Tables, where I guess you can activate the tables. You can pull a Devon and get the table if you want, you know. You get the table, you put it down there, and it's literally the Jericho Appreciation Society putting someone through a table. I forgot who off the top of my head. But Jake is wearing the hat, the only known appearance of the hat. And they only give you one of those cards in the deck. And I sold it, and in hindsight, I shouldn't have sold it because it ended up going for like $2. So I was just like, you know, I should have waited for a better stream. But still, the only known appearance of the hat is in the Verse system. So hopefully Series 3 as well. It's technically not Series 3, you know, 2023 AEW Upper Deck, whatever the hell they want to call it. Get some purple relics, man. It would mean a lot to so many people.
Even think of it as like they do like accessories cards.
Right.
Whereas like Jake Hager's hat literally has its own card.
Yeah. I mean, dude, people would buy it. I'm telling you, people have been asked, like, when I brought that up in the stream, I'm like, yo, purple relic hat, you know, hat card. Yeah. People were like, I'd buy it. You know, it just seems like, to me, you're leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't feel like AEW really cares about that, you know. Maybe at some point they can hire me as their official wrestling card coordinator, supervisor, whatever. You know, that's, come on, Tony, make it happen. But all right, man, we got like 4 minutes left. So I'll say Series 3 looks exciting. Hope we gave you guys some insight. We're gonna come right back and do Section 2, where we're gonna have, like I said, stuff you're gonna want to know about Allure before you buy another hobby box or get in another break. And we're gonna briefly touch on some Leaf Metal Wrestling Legends, or however the hell that's put together, that's coming out soon. We have a scoop no one else has, guys, from anonymous sources. A scoop no one else has about metal. So stay tuned, listen to my fake ads, and we'll be right back.
Hey mates, thank you for listening to the No Schway Out podcast. Just like me, I'm sure you are loving listening to the intelligent and unbiased commentary from someone who loves wrestling cards and wrestling as much as we all do. You can also check out Schway Nostalgia breaking cards on Whatnot or playing video games on Twitch. You can join the Schway Wrestling Network on District. Join us. Join us. Or forget about the economy and check out schwaynostalgia.com for some totally sick merch. Follow Schway for all the updates about his upcoming shows and pods. I know I'm already looking forward to the next one. If there was a button for love, I'd click on that.
Yo, what up, Schwaysters? This is Winner 2 times. When I'm not breaking wrestling cards with Schway on What Beep and the network, I'm hot taking it with Schway by listening to his pod available on all major platforms. No one better at remembering your obscure PC and building the community we all love. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Schway Nostalgia wherever you can, or Morty will cry, cry, cry. Winner chicken dinner, and I'm out. LFG.
All right, welcome back to the potty, pal. We're back with my guy Chay from Body Slam Toy. I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. All right, real quick. Chay wanted to talk about something right before we get to that. We forgot to mention the release date's looking like the 13th of December. I've had several people tell me, though, that it's getting pushed back to the 20th as far as Series 3 or AEW 2023, whatever the hell they want to call it. So I didn't know if you heard anything about that. I thought it was worth mentioning, though.
How do you release a product 5 days before Christmas?
I mean, how do you release 3 products in, 4 months? 5 months
that's fair.
after not releasing stuff for like a year and a half or whatever? Yeah. Because I just remember we'd always be like, when are they releasing more stuff? And now it's like, why won't you let anything breathe a little bit?
Hey, fresh content.
Yeah, fresh content. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 20th. We'll see, but it's supposed to drop between the 13th and the 20th. We'll see what happens right before Christmas for Chay. And now Chay, yeah.
So basically, if you want it by Christmas, pre-order it.
Oh, I already got at least 3 cases I know of. The only problem is that I'm going to Florida at the beginning of January to Orlando. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to be able to move before I actually get down there, because going on a little family trip, hoping to go to NXT and the Thunderdome, brother. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But as we took our break in between recording, Chay saw something on the X or the Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Chay, you want to take it from here?
No, I was just got a random message that Daniel Bryan, because you heard Daniel Bryan's kind of like behind the scenes.
I mean, after all the CM Punk stuff about him coming on Survivor Series, it's pretty hard not to. When Daniel Bryan came out and was talking about, oh yeah, I'm on the disciplinary committee. And him being, he tried to take the heat off Tony a little bit as far as the firing of CM Punk, which to me, all-time ball drop, but that's another thing. But anyways, you were saying that his power might have come back into effect.
Yeah, apparently he got Santana fined because Santana posted 6 weeks on his social media because he hadn't been booked in 6 weeks. So I guess because he spoke out against booking or whoever, that Daniel Bryan was the person behind him getting fined for him speaking out on social media.
Right. All right. There's part of me who wants to answer this the nice way, and then there's part of me that just wants to answer this the no filter, let's be real about this way. What would you prefer, Chay?
I prefer the gritty version.
All right. If it was up to me, if I had the pencil, and again, I have no experience booking wrestling, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert, and I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert in anything. I'm a guy who likes wrestling cards, who breaks wrestling cards, and who likes wrestling and hanging with his friends, But having said that, AEW got to trim the fat, man.
Yep.
They got way too many people under contract, and everyone thinks they should be the top dog, and I get it. If you're in the business of anything, right, and don't want to be the top dog, that's not how I work. You know what I mean? I want to be the best at what I do. I'm talking about me. I'm not even talking about Santana. So I can only imagine someone like him who, again, I don't know Santana in real life. I don't know nothing, but he should want to be the top guy. You know, that's his job. He wants to be the best wrestler in the world. He wants those opportunities. And there's only so much TV time they have and so many opportunities. And, you know, WWE has a lot of people too. They just have more programs to show people, you know, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Um, what is that? That shit on Hulu. Was it Main Event?
Yeah, main
And
event.
what's the other one? The NXT Next Up or
Level
whatever.
Up.
Level Up. There you go. So there's all those, and they don't have Dark anymore. And even still, when people on Dark, they don't want that.
Right.
You know, and they had a real opportunity with Proud and Powerful back in the day. Like, I thought they should have given them the title. There was a brief time right after they got out of Inner Circle where I was like, yo, give them the belts now. And they didn't do it. And they're never going to get that back.
Yep.
And as good as their feud might have been, it's just, you know, there's other people I'd rather give that time to. If I was Tony, like if I were him, you know, and again, I'm just speaking as far as who I like watching wrestling and blah blah blah. This is nothing personal about anyone, you know.
I mean, I just take issue with wrestlers that are active being in some sort of power position.
I can see that. So you're going back to Bryan Danielson as far as him having power.
Yeah.
Within, I mean, dude, like, I don't know. Unless CM Punk pulled a knife or a gun on Tony, like, I would have figured it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand he's talking about doing the right thing, and I get that for him. But for AEW, they needed CM Punk. You know what I mean? Like, they blatantly need him. He's a nice little, like, cherry on top for WWE. Like, WWE's hot right now. They don't need him. They just got him because it's like, hey, we can get him, and why not? Worst case scenario, we fire him. And if he gets fired, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's done. But to me, like, and again, I don't want to go too into it because I did a whole episode about it, but it was just such a ball drop. I'm not opposed. And Brian's going to be out of there eventually. He already put like a limit on how long he's going to be in the company. So I'm not too mad, but I definitely get where you're coming from. I just think a lot of the issues they have, like, they don't give the women enough time even for promos and stuff like that. Like, that's valid. But when I see, you know, I definitely think the Hardys could be better utilized, but you at least get to see the Hardys on TV fairly regularly. You know, personally, nothing against Private Party. I never understood why Matt Hardy was with Private Party. And then, you know, they just have Matt Hardy and Jeff getting with, you know, Daniel Garcia and having little nice dance numbers and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying you need to put the belt on them, but I don't know. It just seems like cut some of the fat in terms of folks who you have under contract, who you feel necessary to book. If Andrade doesn't want to be there, cut him.
Yeah.
You know, he got fired from WWE. You know, like, if there's people who don't want to be there, cut them. There's a lot of people who want to be there who just want the opportunities.
Right. And I can't remember what show I went to, but I took one of my buddies who does not watch AEW. Right. He's never been to a show before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, they have a lot of like young guys. I'm like, yes, they have a lot of young talent.
Right.
That they could really build around. But the one thing that he kept saying throughout the whole night was like, everybody's a part of a group.
Right. Well, I think to me that screams of, you know, just like they used to, and they still do. It's a lot of like trios matches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great way to shove talent in there. You know, people are like, I'm not getting booked. And it's like, oh, you're just in a trios match a week ago, you know, or it's just another way to add more people to the table. And it's just, I don't know, man. I like AEW better. Like, you know, more in-ring promos, MJF going off on CM Punk, torching the man. Just like I said, there's enough good wrestlers there, enough people who are good at what they do, where, like, you know, maybe just cut down on. It's nice having, you know, people have more jobs and stuff, but it's like, if you cut the fat on some of this and, you know, giving time, like, the only person I feel like who should honestly has a real gripe is like Britt. You know, like, Britt's one of the best things they have.
Right.
So to me, like, not utilizing Britt better just doesn't make sense. You know, you built her up to this point, and not only that, before this one complaint, she seemed like someone who was like, I want to be here long term. It wasn't just like, sometimes, you know, for example, not to call her out, but sometimes when having said that, when I hear Thunder Rosa talking, it sounds like she wants to be in WWE. You know, like when I hear her talking on Busted Open and like all that, it really does seem like it's like, you know, I kind of feel like AEW is becoming that point now where people, it's like, all right, let me get over here and then I can go to WWE.
Right.
For some people, you know, I definitely feel like Ricky at some point might head over there too. You know, we already know Andrade's gone the second his thing goes. Whether or not WWE wants him is another question. But that man, every opportunity he has, he posts pictures with him and CM Punk and just posts little spicy tweets here and there. Like, we know what you're doing, bro.
Like, what do you think it is though? Do you think it's the talent, the talent's not seeing the long-term direction?
I think a lot of people, Jericho recently said he's felt that everyone could use 6 months of working with Vince McMahon.
Okay.
And what I think he means by that, to an extent, I'll never fully know what he means because I've never wrestled. But from an outsider's perspective, like working for Vince will humble you. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's like professional sports, right? Every player who's in high school, like who's on a good high school team, you have like the cream of the crop in high school goes to college. Everyone in college is the cream of the crop from high school. And then the cream of the crop from college goes to the pros and so on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like wrestling. A lot of people who came into AEW are like cream of the crop type people from their individual fields.
Yeah.
The thing is there was never really like a humbling moment that you would get in being in a WWE. When it's like you're the cream of the crop, you go there and you're at the bottom of the totem pole and you got to work your way up for the most part, unless special circumstances and stuff like that.
Right.
And you look at AEW and it's like, you know, Bucks did a lot on the indies and they come in and they're top guys. Hangman did a lot of the indies. He comes in, he's top guys. There was no like real earning of said spots, if that makes sense. In terms of the actual AEW company, I think that's going to come off kind of rude. I didn't mean it like that. I just mean within the company. So there's not that, you know, structure expectations comparatively to WWE where, you know, people are all bitching at Jade to wrestle. And it's like, well, you know, they know that, you know, keep her for a good spot, whatever. We don't want to rush, blah, blah. They don't have to rush.
Right.
So a lot of these guys come in, they get some air, and they're like, I want more, which is understandable. You know, someone like Ricky Starks deserves more time.
Yeah.
You know, he deserves a real title reign for himself, a solo run. But I just feel like a lot of this type of stuff wouldn't happen in WWE because I just feel like there's more fear from the workers there, if that makes sense. Like, how many people have been fired from AEW?
Not many.
Not many. You know, like Jimmy Havoc had to like do some really messed up shit to get fired. You know what I mean? Like he had to really do some messed up stuff. Like everyone who's gotten fired has done, besides like, well, I guess Punk did some too, but they've done messed up stuff. You'd rarely see them just like, again, trimming the fat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, it reminds me a lot when I was in like rap, and a lot of people would be like complacent with their spot within a local scene. And they're like, well, I'm doing well. And it's like, okay, you're doing okay here. Go to New York. No one's going to know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, you got to, I don't know. You can't be complacent, which is what the problem. A lot of people, like, again, with Santana, he doesn't want to be complacent. He's not trying to be where he's at. He's trying to move up. So I don't blame him. I don't know. They need some sort of more structure there for expectations and stuff like that. Because, you know, you don't see a lot of people, at least publicly in WWE, doing those types of things. Yeah. So whether it's more, you know, because they're definitely more willing to cut people. There's more consequences. Before we get, well, we're already super off track. But what do you want to talk about first? Metal or my can't miss Allure information that you need to know if you're buying a hobby box or getting in any type of mixer or anything else, any type of break?
You promised big news.
Hey, I have not seen anyone else talk about this. I brought this up in my stream. And to be honest, I always say that I need to really stop saying that. But I could have been a complete piece of shit and not told anyone this and gotten away with some shit. But I'm not going to do that, Chay, because we need to be better than that. You know, I could hoard this information and use it to my benefit,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you guys. So we'll talk about the Allure, and then we'll get into our update on Leaf Metal Wrestling. Another 2 bombs in one episode, Chay. This is a first. I haven't dropped any. We'll call them, instead of Woj bombs, we got Schway bombs, right?
I love it.
There you go.
Let's do
All
it.
right. So for Allure, guys, after about, if you were in my stream, you probably know this already. When we were doing breaks with Allure, a lot of times I like doing mixers just because, you know, I like variety personally. There's stuff I'm hunting in multiple products. We were pulling out boxes of Allure out of the case fresh. What I noticed that no other breaker I've seen mention at all. Every case that I have opened, the auto boxes have been on the bottom of the case. Every single case. That's what I've seen. And what that means is usually in a box of 10 boxes usually come in an inner case. So if you opened a case and had, because there's, you know, which way is the right way? The right way is the one where the words aren't upside down on the case, all right?
Right.
You open it from the bottom. The autos are going to be, there's usually 3 autos. They will be in those bottom 4 boxes. From what I've seen. And I've opened several cases and it's been the case every time. So what I end up doing is when I do mixers, I mix the boxes up so I don't know which one has the autos. Like I'll take them all out and mix them. So I don't know, you know, because it just, now that I know, it feels more honest to do it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't, in all honesty, like sell people boxes in a break and I know the auto's gone. Like that just doesn't, that feels grimy to me. You know what I'm saying? So that is my big Allure news. So if you're going to a hobby store and they have a case of Allure and you're like going to go buy a hobby box, I would suggest being like, hey, can I pick out my hobby box? Do you have the box? And if they show you the case, take them motherfuckers, take them 4 motherfuckers on the bottom and run. Sorry, I don't even know. I need to stop cursing and stuff, but yeah, dude. Like, so Jay, like I'm saying, if you go to your local card store and you're going to buy an Allure box, obviously you can't do this online if you buy it from someone online, but
Yeah.
you know, unless it's in a stream. But if you go to your local card store and they have some Allure boxes, you know, ask to pick your boxes, man. You'll have much better odds of hitting an auto at the bottom of the case, of the inner case.
Interesting.
That's my little tidbit that no one else will tell you.
Okay.
Facts. I've been in many breaker streams. I have not heard one of them mention it. And I don't know if a lot of people are doing 10 boxers, the whole inner, and I've been doing smaller mixers, so maybe they just haven't noticed. But I just figured that, you know, if you care enough to listen to this podcast and spend your time with me in general, and in this instance, my guy Chay, you deserve this little tidbit of knowledge. So take that as you will. If you tell anyone, just let them know where you heard it first. And now, Schway bomb number 2. I feel like Chris Broussard over here. Anonymous sources tell me. So we have major information, major news about, and I think I'm wording this wrong, Leaf Legends of Metal Wrestling or Leaf Metal Legends of Wrestling. That second one sounds right. Leaf Metal
Leaf Metal Legends.
Legends.
Yeah. ...
of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from what I'm hearing, I had one person tell me that all the spots are quote unquote bangers. So there's not going to be a lot of jobbers.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in because it's what, 6 cards per pack?
Yeah, it was like 6 to 8 with 1 guaranteed auto, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we say every card is hot, what does that mean?
I was referring to the autos. I assumed.
Oh, okay.
I assumed based off how Leaf Legends of Wrestling went, the blaster one, which I still have a case of and need to figure out how to use. But all their base cards were known people. So I would imagine the base cards are going to be like The Rock and Stone Cold and MJF or whoever. I'm still kind of curious how they would use a base Rock card since they don't have they bought his stickers via a charity auction. So I'm still kind of
Oh,
like
really?
curious how. Yeah, well, we can tell someone didn't listen to the first episode of the No Shway Out podcast. You're good. You're good. But yeah, apparently they bought them in some charity auction or something. So I'm still confused how they're using The Rock's pictures. But anyways, the major news we had was that based off of prices that I've seen, again, anonymous sources here, on the allocation price that people would be buying it at, it looks like the hobby box range for the Leaf Metal Heroes Wrestling, whatever it's called, the new one coming out with the Rock Autos, is going to be around $400 to $500 a box.
Too expensive.
Yeah, I mean, they're really banking on that Rock Auto. It's going to be a big chase, man. But again, it looks like the boxes of those will at least, it looks like 3-box cases from what we were looking at, and it looks like it should be minimal 400. I think it's going to be more than that, though. I would guess it'd probably be like 500.
That's insane. That's
when
ridiculous.
it first comes out. It's going to be somewhere around that range, barring them just going crazy and charging more. But I'm not super surprised, just because of, you know, The Rock being in it. And I'm curious how much they spent on that sticker sheet. I think it was literally like 30 autos on the sheet or something.
So question realistically.
Yeah.
So let's say a box is $500.
Right.
And it gives you 1 auto and 5 base cards.
Yeah. And again, real quick, Jay, again, guys, this is just us, like, we're predicting the price based off what we saw as the allocated price. So we could be wrong here, but this is just kind of what we're guessing right now. Anyways, Jay, continue.
Yeah. Now let's say you pull an auto, and let's say you get, because I've seen autos with Austin, Flair,
right,
Hogan.
Yeah.
So let's say you pull a single Ric Flair auto.
Yeah.
No number, no anything, just a general Ric Flair auto.
Yeah, you just took an L.
Yeah. Big,
yeah.
Like big.
Yeah, this product's gonna, because what I was told again, from my other source about the checklist, supposedly everyone on there is just, they said no jobbers this time. You know, when I think of Heroes of Wrestling, there was just like a lot of random. It just felt like a set. The last set they did felt like a set where it's just like, man, we got like all these random ass sheets of autos from people. What should we do? It's like, screw it. Let's get a random cartoon and throw some stickers on them. You know, like, it just didn't really feel like a very exciting set, not very imaginative. Like, if you collected certain people, it was cool, but the designs weren't that exciting. The designs in the new set look very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, that I don't know, man. If it's like that expensive, you know, I just have flashbacks to trying to run impeccable breaks.
Because I compare it to, you know, like the Pop Century boxes.
Yeah.
I'm comparing it to something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know too much about the Pop Centuries, to be honest. I know about the cards that come in them, but I don't know about configuration or like price point or anything like that.
Yeah, just looking at those boxes, they cost $200 plus.
Yeah.
And I believe you get 2 or 3 autos per box. And of course it has like artists, music artists, and like movie stars and comedians and things like that. But generally, like the autos that come in it, you're like looking at it, you're like, what the heck? Like I got a Kevin Hart, I got a Kevin Hart auto, and like random like movie star auto. It's just like a mix of different like celebrity autos, but I don't know, rarely do I see, and not that you're supposed to get your money back in every box. That is like, you should never believe that you're going to get your money back out of a box.
Yeah.
Right. But I think at a $500 price point for one autograph.
Yeah.
I think
we could be wrong on that too. So hopefully
we could be wrong on it, but still, I mean, even at a $400 price point or a $300 price point for like one single auto, that's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, even the allocated price point we saw seemed pretty high.
Yeah.
You know? I am I'm curious because I'm interested to see how this goes. It's been a fascinating experience, even going back to Allure, seeing a lot of people who I've never really seen break AEW, breaking
Yeah.
AEW. So it's going to be fascinating seeing people break these leaf boxes, because if it's only one auto, hopefully it's like 2 or 3, but if it's only one at that price point, 3-box case, doing a case break of that, man, I just have flashbacks to doing Impeccable in particular, but iMac as well, where it's just it's one of those things, man, where a lot of people go home unhappy when you do a break,
Yeah.
and whenever last time I did an Impeccable break, people are like, man, I still remember the last iMac break, and I'm like, yeah, me too. It took a while to fill. It took a minute to fill, my guy.
You get what? 4?
In iMac?
Yeah.
Yeah. Autos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. It was
It's 3
3 or
base
4.
and 4 autos, right?
It might be 3 base.
Or is that impeccable?
It might be 3 base and 2. I don't know. I could look it up real quick.
Okay.
I don't know. These things run together, man.
I thought they were 7 card packs.
I want to say 6 and 7 for FOTO. All right, let's see. All right.
It's 9 cards per pack.
You're talking about Impeccable, right?
Impeccable, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Immaculate.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I'm hopping on the old cardboard connection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 3 autos, 2 relics, so 6 cards per pack.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess in 1 base card. I could have swore it was more base, but yeah. So I just have flashbacks to that, and that had more autos, and that was a WWE product. So
Right.
again, maybe the information is wrong. Hopefully we are wrong, and you guys can point me out later and be like, man, Schway got this one wrong, and that's okay. But yeah, based off that price point, yeah, I don't know about that one, champ, because usually allocated prices, like the first one is a little bit cheaper, than it goes up depending on popularity. So we'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see. That price point just seems way too damn high.
Expensive.
Yeah. In this economy, I don't think we can do that. So, all right. That's pretty much what we had to talk about today. Chay, besides obviously ripping on the whatnots, he's also been ripping on the TikToks, which, we might have to have you come back and talk about a little TikTok later on.
The TikToks. I love it.
And then he also is the only other breaker to have broken on the Schway Wrestling Network. So we're talking about getting that back up and running too, as far as you breaking on there. I'm about to post one up in the next day or two, hopefully. But yeah, while they're here, is there anything you got coming up, or where people can find you to stay in touch with all the deal skis and all that?
Well, unfortunately, I've been under a rock on Whatnot. Of course, I've been happening breaks and stuff, but
yeah,
I've been focusing on like my Pokemon stuff and doing my like Sunday morning Pokemon streams on TikTok. So that's where I've been focusing my attention lately, and that's been successful because at first I was just ripping wrestling cards, right? And selling wrestling figures on Whatnot and not focusing on my Pokemon stuff. Now I've kind of transitioned over to the Pokemon side, and I'm doing less wrestling.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that. I'm gonna have to check out TikTok at some point. I've been loafing. It's a lot, man. I was ripping on the whatnots and ripping on the network, and I'm just like, man, it's a lot to keep up with. Adding a third one, I'm like, sheesh. Someday I hope I can afford an employee or something.
There you go. Goals.
Definite goals. So ripping on the TikToks, and yeah, besides that, I'm actually looking at my Body Slam sticker right on my desk still to this day. Gonna have to throw it up on the new computer now that I finally got one.
Nice.
Yeah, but Chay, I wanted to thank you for coming out, being a guest on what's technically, I'm gonna put this at the beginning of the episode. Technically, is episode 6 because I did episode 5 and I had to take it down. And
Oh no.
I'm about to put it back up. Yeah, because I did a review of Iron Claw, and the guy at the studio that I talked to was like, "Yeah, you can put it out. It's cool." And then I dropped it. He's like, "Oh wait, we actually don't want people dropping it to the 12th." And I'm just like, "Oh,
Okay.
okay." So it's coming out still, but I'm still gonna label this episode 6 because damn it, we're bringing back episode 5. They can't tell me what to do there.
There you go.
But Chay, appreciate you, buddy, and
Thank you.
Hope you have a good night, brother.
Of course.
And that was episode number 6 of the No Schway Out podcast. I had to re-record this ending a few times to get myself hyped because I keep recording this stuff super late at night because I'm an idiot, but it happens. Special thanks to Chay again. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope you had a good first night and now second night of Hanukkah. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening, guys.